guess what, Craig? Now you get to divulge in some of my pain. The Lakers are out of the playoffs. They've been officially eliminated. I told y'all this was going to happen. So here's a question for the floor, right? Does this affect LeBron James' legacy by missing the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think no longer can you say the GOAT. And if you do, I mean, I understand. I was already kind of on that board of them saying the GOAT, but I think you can't no longer say you. Yeah, yes, because what people got to realize is, and this is why I tell people all the time, when we talk about basketball, we talk about football, and then when people talk about quarterbacks and people talk about stuff, I'd be like, are we discussing it from a stat standpoint or a flat out winning standpoint? Because if we're talking about it from a flat out winning standpoint, like, I think this is bad. The West is deep. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the West is trash.
Wait a minute. KD's about to miss the playoffs. They're barely in the play-in. And Steph
they're in the play-in. No, they're in. No, they're in. No,
they're above 500. They're not 17 teams below 500.
Well, let's not forget Jordan has some teams below 500. I just don't think
they made the playoffs.
Right, they were below 500.
They made the playoffs. They won 17 games below 500.
But Steph missed the playoffs last year.
Steph is not LeBron. It's Jordan and LeBron. Like, we're not doing this. Bringing all these other players.
Hey, I get what y'all saying.
So you think? So y'all think it? I don't think it determines his legacy.
Yes,
I think it determines his legacy. I'm not talking about him being great. It doesn't stop from the greatness. But we can't no longer say we got to cut off this talk about the GOAT. Like, we have to cut this off of this. Like, it should affect the legacy. I understand his numbers are great. Don't get me wrong. His numbers are crazy for his age. Don't get it twisted. But at the end of the day, it's about winning. Like, and I get it's one player should make the team, but that's why I always tell people, when we have these conversations, do we want to talk about just flat out stats, or do we talk about winning? Because if we're talking about winning, for you not to make the playoffs in a 10-team bracket, we're not talking about the regular 8. They added 2 teams. We're talking about now, you're not even in the top 10. I think this does affect his legacy. I understand the stats he made. I understand you can't put it all on him. But we talk about this all the time. It affects the legacy. And I'm only talking about legacy as far as us calling him the GOAT. I'm not saying his overall legacy as far as his greatness. That's not going to be questioned. But as far as for me, this right here has to end the conversation about him being the GOAT. Because we talk about winning. I'm about winning. I understand your stats, but I'm about winning. That's just me. I can't disagree with other people's point, but for me, it's about winning. And for you not to make the playoffs, how can we still put them in the GOAT conversation when you can't make the playoffs in a 10-team bracket? Is the West really that good? Is the West really that dominant across the board?
Man,
that's very interesting, because it's like, if you talk about missing the playoffs or like even having a bad playoff performance, I don't think it does. I think now, let's say this, if he wins a championship in the next 3 years, but it's not, let's say they get, I don't think this is going to happen, but say they trade AD, blow it up, they get Dame and Malcolm Brogdon, and they build a phenomenal team, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen. LeBron wins a championship. Do you still remember the season?
Yeah, I do. You have to.
You know what I'm saying, Mo? That's what I'm saying. Like,
but this will be my thing though. Your only choices right now.
A hard thing to say.
Your only two choices this offseason. They're basing it in what we verbally would call the trick bag. You got 2 choices. You either trade AD or you keep this team as it is.
We'll get to that, but Craig, you think it messes his legacy?
This does affect his legacy. I don't know how it can't. Like, you're the best player in the league, or one of the best players of all time. This is what happens when you're a great player. Like, you're Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you're counting Jordan's Wizards too. That's a part of Jordan's legacy.
You can count Jordan's Wizards, but I mean, Jordan was like 30. I mean, he was pretty much, he had took 3 years off. He had taken 3 years off.
No excuse. No excuse,
but it is what it is.
Don't do that 3 years off, and he had issues. I don't want to hear that.
It's no excuse, but it is what it is. But what I'm trying to tell you is that LeBron picked this team. He handpicked this team basically, so he pretty much got the players that he wanted to play with him. He was the GM of this team. He orchestrated everything. He has 5 Hall of Famers, maybe 6 with Rondo when the season started. Yeah. 5 guaranteed Hall of Famers. You mean to tell me you have a team of 5 Hall of Famers? You handpicked this team. You're the GM. You're the greatest. You think he's the GM? You're one of the greatest players of all time. This is what happens when you're a great player. You have the role. You get all the praise when everything goes well, and you get all the negativity when things go wrong. This is what happens. I don't
think he's the GM though.
This is he pretty much orchestrated this team. He got Westbrook on board or whatever it is. He started talking to him, got him over there, got him traded.
I think he
traded all them pieces.
Not that he did it.
I don't care what you say. I've heard it. I don't know how many
LeBron
times
is running the Lakers.
I'm not saying he's running the Lakers, but I'm saying he had a say so.
If he was GM, we would have Tyronn Lue.
He had a say so. You can't just fire the guy after the fact when he won a championship. So how you going to get Tyronn Lue for Frank Vogel?
I said before Frank Vogel, if he was
okay,
GM,
but I'm saying he didn't.
He wanted him. He wanted Tyronn Lue.
He had a hand in bringing in AD. He had trading all them pieces. He had a hand in bringing in Westbrook. Traded all the pieces. So he's playing the role of like a GM, and he's not good at it. That's what I'm saying. He had a role in bringing these players in. Like I don't understand how you're a Lakers fan, so your heart's in it. I understand that. But he still had a role. He had a role in the bringing Westbrook in. It doesn't work. It didn't work.
I agree with that. But just
he had a say-so in it.
Right. You said GM and having a say-so are two different things.
I'm not saying he's the GM. I'm saying he's like playing the role of a GM. Okay, he doesn't have the title of GM.
KD has a say with the Nets, right?
That's fine.
Exactly. I'm just saying,
But LeBron James has brought in 5 Hall of Famers. It didn't work. You bought 6. I'm gonna say 6 because I think Rondo's a Hall of Famer. You bought in 6 Hall of Famers. It didn't work.
I think Rondo.
Whatever. I don't care. That's I'm not debating that. I don't care. But I'm saying he's not a good GM or he's not a good.
I don't think so.
He's not a good fake GM. Whatever it is you want to call it. Like he has to take some blame and accountability for this team being the way they are. They're not just like 4 games under 500. They're 17. They're 4-17 since the All-Star break.
Right.
They had the second worst record since the All-Star break. They can't win a game. They lost 7 in a row. You know how many times they won 3 games in a row? 3.
Yeah.
3 separate times with 4 games being the highest. You know how many times they lost 3 games in a row? 8.
Probably the most.
I'm just telling you 8.
They're probably the most.
8.
They're the worst team
with 7 games in a row right now.
So you remember when you said that LeBron James would make the playoffs?
Okay, I said he'd make the play-in. I didn't think it would be
this
bad.
No, we're bad.
That's fine. But that doesn't take a. Okay, well that's even worse then because you didn't think you had no faith in them.
Yes, they were one of the worst teams.
So that's why it should even. That's why it should. For you, it should more affect his legacy. I don't understand how it can't. Like this guy has played GM and it hasn't worked. This guy, for all the greatness that for all his numbers that he's put up, LeBron James. Let's tell you this: LeBron James better not play these next 2 or 3 games for him to get on that to qualify as a point per game player. Because if you sit out against the Phoenix Suns and you come back and you play against Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh yeah.
So that way you can get your name into the record books for being, and you can drop 45 on him. That is going to be a bad look. It's going to be way more.
Yeah, definitely a bad look. Yeah, definitely.
You got to stop the rest of the season. You have nothing to play for. You have nothing to play for.
Why are you playing? Like, and this ain't about pride no more. Like, I don't want to hear about no pride. That's
I don't know if he plays the rest of the season. I don't know.
But one thing I would say about this, and this is where I would go against the legacy. The way I'm saying this is, once again, I would say this. Does it hurt his legacy? Does it count against his greatness overall, or who he is, what he's meant to this game? No. But what I say is this, for once and for all, is a damaging shot to us talk about GOAT. I feel like it's a slap in the face right now. We still, after this, talk about GOAT status. And I'm gonna give people a reason why. They added 2 teams to the playoff, to the play-in, right?
Yeah.
Let's really look at. I'm gonna look at 2 teams in particular that made it over top of them. This might be the worst team that Popovich has had in his whole coaching tenure. Can Bama's really name all people on San Antonio's roster? Can we really have a legitimate conversation on who's on San Antonio's roster right now? No. Like, who's the best player? Who's the mainstay player on that roster right now?
Murray.
It's hard. Oh, okay. All right, Murray. Okay. But I mean, outside of that, it's a bunch of like people just trying to find their own.
Pretty much.
The Pelicans. Okay, all right, we can say Brandon Ingram. Okay, if we want to be funny. But outside of that, Zion ain't played.
McCollum, but you're right. I know what
I trade for him, but yeah, but Zion ain't played a game.
The Clippers are in the playoffs, and they haven't had.
Right, they haven't had Paul George all season and no Kawhi. So it's like we can't give a pass to this situation. We can't do it. I understand. And once again, I'll give LeBron his just due on his stats. For him being that age, that is crazy what the numbers he's putting up. But at the end of the day, I look at winning. Like at the end of the day, like Craig said, you 17 games under 500. You end this season 4-17. And the thing is, right now is I'm looking at the future of what coach do you bring in here? You got to bring a big name in here. You're not going to bring in a high energy young dude to coach these future Hall of Famer veterans or whatever. That's not going to work, I don't think. So what names do we throw out there to take this job? Like who's really going to put themselves through this and take this job?
Okay.
I don't know.
About that, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what coach.
They are 11-10 with the big three on the court at the same time.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
Of course. Everybody knew it from the beginning. It's a horrible team.
It's fine.
It's not horrible. I have nothing to say about that. I've been quiet on the Lakers. I have nothing to say because we're horrible. It's constructed horrible. LeBron deserves blame. AD deserves blame. Westbrook deserves blame. Frank Vogel deserves blame with his sets. Rob Pelinka deserves blame. Jenny Buss deserves blame. And the Rambuses, because they're in it too. They all deserve blame because this is horrible. It is.
Man. Look, the Spurs traded away. The Spurs traded away their second best player because they were trying to just say, you know what, we don't care, and they still end up making the play-in game, trading the second best player. Yeah. They started out the season 4-13.
Yeah, I mean, then look at to be honest, it's a lot of teams, man. Look at the Nets. They haven't had Kyrie full time, and they traded away James Harden. And they're still, they're still in the play-in. And listen, that's what I'm saying. It's horribly constructed. What I would have loved for happen if we would have went with our original plan and got Buddy Hield, because we would have had Buddy Hield, KCP, Caruso, and probably DeMar DeRozan. Now with that team, we would probably be a lot better. I'm gonna really be honest with you because DeMar DeRozan,
They'd be way better than this.
Way better. Yeah, way better.
But they don't have nobody plays defense.
No. Right, but see, we would have KCP and Caruso.
Caruso can play defense. KCP can play defense.
Yeah,
especially on-ball defense.
Yeah,
there's nobody here on the team that can play on-ball defense anymore.
No. And then even if LeBron, and then you're setting up AD with LeBron and AD shooters, right? And then DeRozan would have fit right in to be the leader of the team, and he would have been doing what he's doing. But listen, when I traded for Westbrook, I was kind of blown, and he's been disconnected with the media. And, let me say this for the offseason, because this is what I'm hearing. I'm going to be honest. As a Lakers fan, I've already told you I'm disappointed. LeBron's up for an extension. They're going to ask him, are you signing the extension or not? It's up to him, because if he says no, then they're probably going to blow it up. They're probably trading AD. They're probably trading LeBron, probably rolls, and they get all their draft pick back. They trade Westbrook and whatever. So I don't think that's going to happen because LeBron loves LA and he's not going to play for the Clippers. So I think he's going to be I don't think he's going to go to another NBA team. I think he likes being in LA. So I think he stays in LA. I know everybody wants to trade AD. Probably, I don't know if y'all guys want to.
I mean, that's a two choices though. They either trade AD or stay pat. They don't have no other. They don't have the money nor the resources.
They could keep AD.
Right.
keep LeBron.
You can't trade Russ because nobody's taking that. Nobody's taking that contract.
The Rockets try to trade for him.
Yeah, you could. Well, listen, you got teams like Pistons, Indiana. They want to blow it up.
I got you. But who can they get for that trade that's going to help Lakers right now?
I got you. Listen, if Indiana wants to blow it up, you could trade Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon because they have money that's owed to them. Russ has only 1 year, $47 million. You trade for Russ, you get off the books. You're clear. You're clear. You have your picks. You can NBA franchises like doing that. Like when they want to. So it's different than NFL, right? In NBA, you can say tanking. Right. So if a team wants to tank and get the first pick and get picks, they'll trade. That's why Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, they're on a trading block. Teams will be like, we want to get rid of we'll take Russ for 1 year, right? And either they'll keep him or, they'll, what do you call it? When they pay a player out, they'll do that. Yeah, they'll do a buyout. But the reason they'll do that is to have the money and, get players. Rockets will do, it's teams that will do it, Mo. It's just that, the reason they didn't want to do it this year is because they didn't want to pay Russ for this year and next year. But if you get to 47, teams will trade a couple pieces just to have one player to get that money off. We've seen it time and time again. But
the Lakers need shooters, though.
That's
so
what
they're going to trade for
they're
going to need some shooters. They definitely need shooters.
They need shooters. They need to do what they originally and just have shooters and D3s.
And they want to play defense because right now, outside of LeBron, nobody really wants to play defense.
Nobody
wants to play.
LeBron don't play. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you. LeBron does not play defense. He'll come in there with chase down block or whatever it is, but he don't play defense. I've seen way too much. Look, LeBron has missed the playoffs twice since he's been in LA, and he's gotten bounced out in the first round once. And the one time they did win the championship, it wasn't even in LA; it was in the bubble. I don't even know if you can put an asterisk on that season if you want to. Whatever. So I don't. They haven't won a playoff series in LA since 2012.
Yeah,
10 years ago. Like this is. I don't know how it could not affect his legacy when he's missed the playoffs twice in 4 years and got bounced out in 1 year, and they had to do a play-in tournament to get to that one. These last 4 years are pretty much solidified. I don't know how you can go up. I know he won a championship, but it can't go championship and then it keeps going up, or it stays even. He has to go championship here, and then he just missed the playoffs. Made the playoffs, but lost in the first round. Okay. Oh, so 17 games under 500. I'm sorry.
Hey, so Craig, I'll ask you this question.
So what are they going to do in the offseason, Craig?
What is the Lakers going to do?
Mm-hmm.
They got to try to figure out what they're going to do with Russell Westbrook. We'll figure out what they're going to do with Anthony Davis and figure out if LeBron's going to sign an extension or not. With his son coming into the league.
They should trade Anthony Davis?
If they can find a trade partner, he cannot stay on the court, man. He's just fragile. He's a really great player. He's a top 10 player when he's healthy, but he's fragile.
Somebody said he might have peaked already.
He probably did. He's just paper.
They're saying that he might
wet paper.
He might have peaked.
He's wet paper.
Hey, so question, y'all.
So you would trade him?
If I could find somebody willing to take him, why not?
Somebody would take him. I believe so.
You don't know what you're going to get back for him. If you're going to get some type of good value back for him, then yeah. But at the same time, you got LeBron who's 37. I don't know if he wants to go with a bunch of young players when he can just Anthony Davis. So it's pretty much LeBron's GM again. So he's going to come back and say what he wants to happen.
So question from a legacy standpoint, because our conversation was and our topic was his legacy. Where does this drop from a legacy standpoint? Let's not even say GOAT right now. Where does this drop him in legacy standpoint as far as what are we still saying? Top 5, top 10?
Yeah.
Is he out of top?
Yeah, he's still on Mount Rushmore. By the time he retires, he's probably going to be
great score, top score,
and probably top 3 in assists and top 3 in rebounds.
I get that. I'm just asking the question.
He's probably number 2 and number 3 for me. I think I probably still have my number 2 right now. But I can't take away.
Stop to go. You never got to stop to go.
He's never going to be Jordan. Me, even before this happened. Back in
Greg, it doesn't matter what happened, bro. I'm gonna tell you that Greg is not moving off Jordan.
Back when they lost to Dallas, and he had that terrible playoff series, and Jason Terry outplayed him. Jason Terry outplayed him in that series, and LeBron James was a starter. Jason Terry was not.
That was 2011.
You cannot tell me that to not take some type of precedence in his legacy. Come on, he played terrible. He was the third or fourth best player on his team.
I think probably that was the time that I believe
he's probably like the sixth best player in the series.
I believe that was the time you
can't make no excuses. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Come on here.
No, that was the time that was the first year in Miami, and he lost.
Yeah,
that was his second finals appearance, I think. Yeah, he lost.
That's fine. He formed a super team. He formed a super team, and that seems to be the theme for him. He has to form a super team to have a championship. I can't reward that, man. Like, I cannot reward. You have to do it every single place you go to. You have to have some type of super team. I can understand it, like if it was drafted for you, maybe even if it was traded to you or something like that, or whatever it is, or I don't know. Like, but you're orchestrating a lot of this stuff behind the scenes to me, and to me, it didn't work out. And it has to, like, Russell Westbrook is having his worst.
I don't even think about super teams.
Player efficiency rating ever.
He doesn't want to play with younger players.
That's cool.
Hey, so let me tell you this. I always tell people this. Out of all his championships, I respect his Cleveland one the most. I will always respect his Cleveland one the most.
I mean, that's one of the greatest championships. Like,
I got, and not even for the 3-1 comeback. It's for the team he had. Period. Like, that was probably his worst team that he won a championship with.
I mean, that finals, like, that's LeBron at the apex. Like, right. I think he led everybody in all statistical categories. Am I right, Craig?
I had to look it up. I know he didn't hit the game-winning shot, but he
You said what?
I know he didn't hit the game-winning shot, but I also know that if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended, that series is not going to a game 7. I do know that. I'm not going to sit there and look. What Stephen A. Smith calls it a stimulus package. This is what the league gave to the Cavaliers. They gave them a stimulus package because they suspended Draymond Green. You can sit there and shake your head all you want to. I don't care. They suspended Draymond Green.
Why did they win game 6 then?
They did. Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying
I don't understand this.
They suspended Draymond Green, and I think Iguodala got hurt in one of those games as well. So he was out. But I'm saying that, but the Draymond Green suspension was part of that. But I mean, hats off to the Cavaliers that came back and won the series. I'm just saying that Draymond Green.
See that, Bo? You see how he's trying to? You say that to Greg, Bo, that he's like Draymond was healthy. You hear that, Bo, right?
So you have LeBron James number 1 as your goat of all goats. You have LeBron James as your NBA goat, basically.
His career's not over yet.
So where do you have him? Is he going to be number 1?
I don't know yet. His career's not done.
I'm not going to put him number 1. So I'm saying
you never were, Craig.
His career's not over yet, but he's not going no higher than number 2.
That's what I'm saying, Craig. Let's be honest. If LeBron James won 6 championships,
that doesn't matter.
You still wouldn't put him as the GOAT.
I saw him lose 6. No, but it would. I saw him lose 6.
You hear this though, Mo? Like, it doesn't.
He didn't lose 6. He didn't lose 6.
Yes.
Also saw him play bad in 2011 finals. I saw him get swept in the finals.
You wouldn't have
lose 4-1 in the finals a couple times.
You wouldn't
twice.
LeBron.
He got swept twice. He lost 4-1 twice.
All right,
it doesn't matter. 4-1 and 4-0 don't matter.
It doesn't matter if whatever LeBron did. It doesn't matter. He's still not the GOAT in your eyes.
No, he's not.
And that's fair. I mean, all right. So this is the thing, though. This is more.
Don't believe Craig.
He doesn't play defense.
I got you. This is more of an opinion piece, right? And Craig eyes, yes, Craig ain't gonna go. In my eyes, to be honest with you, I felt like the conversation already was kind of a little bit disrespectful, but I was willing to take it on after he won another championship. But now, after this, like Craig said, after this now, 17 games under 500, I can't legitimately even remotely have this conversation anymore. Like, I can't. I think it would be a full slap in the face of Jordan to have this conversation now.
So this is a conversation that we have, right. But they don't have these conversations. A lot of players say people are the best of their era. right?
Okay, if you're gonna say that, now that's a different conversation. That's different.
Kobe was the best of his era. Because to be honest, Craig's not going to want to hear this, but it's a lot of younger NBA players that look up to Kobe more than they look up to LeBron. I mean, to they look up to Jordan because they grew up watching Kobe. So I'm just saying it's relative.
I mean,